In a world that rewards speed, noise, and constant reaction, the samurai chose stillness, not because they were weak, but because they were dangerous. They trained their minds to be as calm as a silent lake, and their focus sharper than a blade. That's the paradox. The more still your mind, the more lethal your actions. Today, we're surrounded by distraction. Notifications, opinions, dopamine. We scroll, compare, consume. We react to everything and commit to nothing. We're pulled in every direction but forward. And yet, you can still choose a different path. The path of the modern warrior. The one who trains not just the body, but the mind. The one who walks into chaos with a still gaze, who doesn't chase energy, but commands it. Because here's what the samurai understood. If your mind is undisciplined, you are already defeated. Before the fight even begins, that's why they spent years mastering silence. Sharpening focus, observing instead of reacting, striking only when it mattered, and with precision. And in today's world, that mindset isn't just powerful, it's uncommon. Which means it's a weapon. Welcome to the mental gym. This is where modern warriors are made. Most people think calmness is a personality trait. They say, I'm just not a calm person, as if that excuses their emotional chaos, their overreaction, their poor decisions. But here's the truth. Calm is a skill, and skills can be trained. The samurai weren't born with still minds. They were forged through fire, repetition, and discipline. They trained themselves to stay calm in the face of death. So ask yourself, what's really stressing you out? A message left unread? A rude comment? A delay? A bill? These are not battles. These are invitations to train. Every time you feel triggered, distracted, or impatient, you're being offered a chance to sharpen your stillness. But instead, most people just react. They give their power away to moments that don't matter. Samurai understood this deeply. That mastery of self was the highest form of combat. So instead of fighting others, they fought their impulses, their fears, their ego. And that's what gave them the power to move like lightning, while never being emotionally moved. If you want to become unstoppable, you have to stop being emotionally predictable. Because here's the modern truth. Calm people dominate. Not because they're cold, but because they're clear. And in a noisy world, clarity is a superpower. So don't say, I'm not a calm person. Say, I'm training. Focus is the most endangered mental resource in the modern world. Everyone wants it. Few can keep it. Almost no one trains it. We've become addicted to stimulation. We tap, scroll, swipe, not because we need to, but because we've lost control. Our minds are scattered, fractured into 1,000 pieces. But not the samurai. They trained focus like a warrior sharpens his blade. Every move intentional, every breath deliberate. When they drew their sword, it was not random. It was precise, purposeful, ruthless. That's the kind of focus we need today. Not the kind that lasts 10 minutes. The kind that makes you forget the world exists because you're locked into your mission like a predator. Here's the hard truth. If your attention is cheap, so is your life. Everything you want, mastery, success, peace, requires one thing above all, ruthless focus. Not partial, not scattered, not conditional. That means cutting distractions without apology, turning off notifications, leaving toxic people behind, saying no to 100 good things so you can say yes to one great thing. You will never rise above the level of your focus, so sharpen it. Because in today's world, your ability to go deep is your greatest competitive edge. Distraction is a disease, focus is the cure, and only warriors take the medicine. The average person reacts, the modern warrior waits. Samurai trained themselves to pause, even in the heat of conflict, because they knew a rushed reaction is a weapon turned against yourself. Today, we confuse speed with strength. We think replying instantly makes us powerful. We think multitasking means we're productive. We think blurting out the first thought is being real. But in truth, it's just being undisciplined. Delayed response is not weakness, it's strategy. It's knowing when to speak, when to move, and when to hold your fire. It's what makes your presence feel controlled and lethal, not chaotic. Think of the most powerful people you've ever met. They don't flinch. They don't rush. They don't explain themselves unless necessary. Because every movement is chosen, not automatic. The modern world tries to steal that from you. It wants you triggered, outraged, distracted. Because the more reactive you are, the easier you are to manipulate. But the samurai had a code. And part of that code was emotional control. Not because they didn't feel emotion, but because they mastered it. Here's a mantra to live by. I don't react, I respond. I don't flinch, I observe. I don't rush, I choose. That's how you build presence. And presence is power. So the next time life tries to pull you into chaos, pause, breathe, own the moment. Discipline is not born in chaos. It's forged through routine, deliberate, focused, and sacred. The samurai didn't just try to be focused. They built their lives around rituals that protected their clarity. Every morning, every movement, every breath, done with intention. That's how they cultivated calm under pressure and focus under fire. Now compare that to the average person today. They wake up late, check their phone before they breathe, eat mindlessly, consume instead of create, react instead of reflect, and they wonder why they feel overwhelmed, unmotivated, weak. The problem isn't your willpower, it's your lack of structure. Chaos breeds confusion. Structure breeds strength. So if you want to train like a modern samurai, you need to build your day like a battlefield. Clean, precise, non-negotiable. Wake up early, but not for hustle culture, but for silence, for stillness. Before the world floods your mind with noise. Move your body, not to impress, but to build discipline into your muscles. To teach your mind, we do hard things. Sit in stillness, even if it's 5 minutes. Not for spirituality, but for sharpening the blade of your awareness. Plan your day like it matters, because it does. Samurai didn't leave their lives to chance. They didn't hope for discipline. They trained it. They lived it. Every single day. Your routine is your dojo. Your phone is your battlefield. And your mind is your weapon. Sharpen it. The samurai lived by one of the most powerful mindsets ever created. Victory begins with detachment. What does that mean? It means the warrior doesn't cling. Not to ego, not to emotion, not even to outcome. The moment you become emotionally attached to how things should go, you lose power over what's happening right now. You stop seeing clearly. You react. You suffer. Detachment is not apathy. It's not indifference. It's presence. It's the ability to stand in the middle of chaos and see things as they are, not as you fear or wish them to be. When you're detached, you don't fear losing, because you're focused on execution, not outcome. You don't fear rejection, because your identity is rooted in discipline, not approval. This mindset makes you unshakable, because you're no longer negotiating with your emotions every 5 minutes. You're no longer begging for validation. You're no longer stuck in mental loops of what if and should've. The samurai knew. Clinging leads to hesitation, and hesitation leads to death. So they let go of what didn't serve the mission. And in doing so, they became faster, clearer, more dangerous. In today's world, detachment is the antidote to anxiety. You don't need to control everything. You just need to control yourself. Detach from the noise. Detach from comparison. Detach from needing it to be easy. Focus only on the next move and make it with precision. That's how warriors think. That's how dominance is built. You don't need to be born strong to become unstoppable. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need motivation. You need something far more powerful, the decision to train your mind like a warrior, to sharpen your focus like a blade, to master your emotions like a samurai facing death. Because in the end, life won't ask how you felt. It will ask, did you show up with clarity? Did you stay calm under pressure? Did you move with purpose, even when no one was watching? This world will try to make you reactive, emotional, distracted. It will reward chaos and punish focus. But that's exactly why the warrior stands out. Because when everyone else is chasing dopamine, he's chasing discipline. When everyone else is reacting, he's observing. When everyone else is folding, he's sharpening. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs people who move in silence and hit with precision. You have that in you, but only if you train it. No more waiting. No more hoping. No more excuses. Wake up and train. Even when it's boring. Even when it's inconvenient. Even when it's painful. That's what makes it powerful. You are not here to live soft. You are not here to be average. You are here to train like a samurai, with a calm mind and ruthless focus. This is the mental gym we train minds. We build warriors, one rep at a time. Subscribe now and join the brotherhood. Your discipline starts today.